One of the striking developments that's setting the stage for the end times is the really just the exponential increase in technology that we've seen over the last few decades, but really even just here in the last few years. This is something we all see around us really every day in our lives as we see technology just mushrooming around us. And, it's something that's a great help to all of us, but it's something that's exerting more and more control over our lives. I think really oftentimes without us really recognizing or realizing how pervasive it is. This is setting the stage for the end times, I think, in a very unique way, because the Bible tells us that there's a world ruler who's coming on the stage. And we know him, of course, as the Antichrist. But in Revelation chapter 13, it tells us that this coming world ruler is going to control the world economically, and he's going to control the world politically. He's also going to rule the world religiously, as everybody's going to have to bow down to him and declare that he is God. But he's going to start out, I think, with economic and with political control. And obviously, I think we never thought about this maybe in the past as much, but to exert that kind of control over the whole world, where you control the world economically, or where no one can buy or sell without having the mark of the beast, and where you can control the whole world politically, is going to require incredible control that he's able to exert over the world. And I think that what's going to allow him to do that is the technology that we see today that's going to allow him to control people's lives in every area of life. We've seen this kind of really begin somewhat with COVID. When COVID hit, one of the things that took place was what's called track and trace technology. So, someone has COVID and their, smartphone, their device can track where they've been, and then it will alert everyone else who's been around them. And we kind of began to see there a little bit that, man, this is almost kind of eerie. This is kind of 1984 kind of stuff, where Big Brother's watching and knows where people are and knows what we're doing. And it's a control over our lives. But the place where this is happening in the greatest way in our world today is in China. And I think a lot of us here in America really don't realize maybe what's happening over in China in this area. There's an article that came out recently, and you can find this all over the place, but this article says how China uses facial recognition to control human behavior. And the article begins with these words. It says, facial recognition supporters in the U.S. often argue that the surveillance technology is reserved for the greatest risks, to help deal with violent crimes, terrorist threats, and human trafficking. And while it's all often used for petty crimes like shoplifting, stealing $12 worth of goods, or selling $50 worth of drugs, its use in the U.S. still looks tame compared with how widely deployed facial recognition has been in China. And then listen to this. China's facial recognition system logs nearly every single citizen in the country, with a vast network of cameras across the nation. A database leak in 2019 gave a glimpse of how pervasive China's surveillance tools are, with more than 6.8 million records from a single day. So from one single day, there were 7 million of these records. It says they were taken from cameras positioned around hotels, parks, tourism spots, and mosques, logging details on people as young as 9 days old. So what we see in China today really is a surveillance society. That's what's happening there in China. Every person is being watched daily. They know where they are. They know what they're doing. They know if they're committing crimes. All of this is taking place there in China. And when you think about this, someone has put it like this: if it conditions the idea of this is how society works. So people there are simply being conditioned to the fact that basically this is how things work in China. As you go on in this article, it highlights some of the other things that are happening there. It says, with that level of influence, there are concerns that China's model of how to use facial recognition, a widespread network destined for public shaming and control, could spread to the rest of the world. So China's using this basically to control their citizenry. And there's a fear that this is going to spread to the rest of the world. And it doesn't take a lot of imagination to see how someone who's a world ruler in the end times is going to seize this kind of technology to control the world. Well, we see this already coming to the United States now. There's an article that was in the Atlantic just here recently, and it says this: the IRS should stop using facial recognition. And the article begins like this: with tax season upon us, the IRS is pushing individuals to submit to facial recognition in exchange for being able to complete a range of basic tax-related activities online. The IRS has retained a private firm, ID.me, formerly known as TroopSwap, that claims to provide secure identity proofing, authentication, and group affiliation verification for government and business across sectors. Now listen to this. The IRS is not the only government agency working with ID.me. The company claims to serve 27 states, multiple federal agencies, and over 250 name brand retailers. So what's going to be required to tap into some of the services provided by the IRS is you're going to have to take a selfie and you send that into the IRS. Then they have your facial recognition. They can tie that to your account, and that's how you or get access to some of their services. Now, this isn't required yet to file your taxes, but it's slated to begin in the summer of 2022. Now, some are fighting back against this and saying this is a great invasion of privacy. So we'll see if it actually ends up coming to fruition. But ID.me says it's already being used in 27 states, multiple federal agencies, and over 500 name brand retailers. So this is the wave of the future. It's in China. It's everywhere in China. And it's coming to the United States as well. And ultimately, it's going to be global, I believe, where the entire world will be a global surveillance society. And so you add in to that the fact that the Antichrist is going to control the world economy. And the way he's going to control the world economy, I believe, is to get rid of cash. So when cash is gone, everything will be done on a smart device. And of course, again, to make sure that the person who has the smart device is the person who actually owns it, they'll have some kind of thumbprint or some kind of iris scan or, again, some kind of facial recognition. But what they'll be able to do then is control every financial transaction in the world. There won't be any cash, or you can't do anything on the side to carry out business. So they'll know what people have in the bank. They'll know everything they buy. They'll know how much they make. They'll know how much taxes they pay. Everything will be recorded in that way. So what we see happening with all this technology, this explosion in technology, this isn't the mark of the beast. So I always want to mention this because many people will begin to think, well, is this the mark of the beast? This isn't the mark of the beast. Again, the mark of the beast won't begin till the midpoint of the 7-year tribulation period. But what we see here is the kind of technology that the Antichrist will use to control people's lives. The mark of the beast is a mark. It's really the name of the Antichrist. It's the numerical value of his name, which will be 666. That'll be on the right hand of the forehead of those who submit to him and pledge their allegiance to him. That's going to be during the tribulation period. But I think we can be assured that the Antichrist is going to use every kind of technological means at his disposal to control the lives of people all over the earth. So we're already seeing this taking place. So what we see happening today in technology, there's a lot of benefit from technology. We love it. We're able to use it and access all kinds of information. But there's a dark side to it that's going to be used someday and implemented by nefarious powers. It's already happening in China. It's spreading here to the United States. It's going to engulf eventually the whole world and be used by the Antichrist. So when you see technology exploding like it is today, you and I can look at all this and say, this really does fit in with what the Bible predicts for the end times. And the way it's just mushrooming in our world today, we can see how there's probably all kinds of technology out there that hasn't even been invented yet. I mean, it's just things are coming online so quickly and being developed so quickly and being refined so much that who knows what kind of technology will be available when the Antichrist finally rises on the world scene. So we'll keep watching these developments with things like ID.me and the IRS and keep you informed about these as time goes along. But thank you so much for watching this video, and God bless you, and I hope to see you next time.